According to Edmunds, nearly 19% of car buyers are taking out $1,000 payments. Yeah, $1,000 plus payments, which is insane to be almost 20% of the buying population. If you just think back to 2020, the number was tiny. The percentage was tiny. But combined with high prices and high interest rates, $1,000 payments are all over the place. The average now is 700, and I would beg to differ. Honestly, it seems like the average is 1,000. I was in car sales. It is insane, and right now it's the worst it's ever been. Even though Cox Automotive just came out with recent data saying we're at a 50 or 41 week low with prices. That's kind of what we've been saying, but it doesn't mean anything. They rose the price to the moon. To be below it, it doesn't really mean anything. And we're still nowhere near where we were in 2020, but they're still saying prices have came down a little bit, but it's like, what? I mean, it just doesn't do anything. Even with dealer discounts, and even if manufacturers increase rebates, it's just not enough. We've talked about this before, and most people agree. You guys need $50,000 off on some of these vehicles because they cost $100,000. Grand Cherokees are 70 grand. F-150s are 100 grand. These prices are insane, and this is what's going on. The car market really is struggling. For the first time, dealerships are really getting a wake-up call. Over the last few years, they've been sitting fat and happy, especially when they barely had any inventory. At first, they were scared, but then they realized, oh crap, we can really maximize profit off of a low amount of inventory, and they made a killing on each unit. And brand new units, they were selling over MSRP, and even the good dealerships that didn't do markups were doing the whole, they were selling at MSRP at the end of the day. So you have all these buyers that were purchasing at MSRP or over MSRP. Now that's a few years later, used car prices are starting to come down a little bit. It's starting to become reality. So you have all these buyers that have negative equity. The average is over $7,000. And if you're in the car business, it's everywhere. 10, 20, $30,000 upside down in a car because they purchased it wrong. They didn't put a proper down payment. The dealership screwed them over. Everything could go wrong, went wrong, and it put them in a hole like no other. $30,000 upside down in a vehicle. That is terrible. And you buy all these F&I products that cost this money, and some of it can get refunded, but it's just a bad situation that buries your own customer. So the dealerships honestly did it to themselves and the manufacturers, but the dealerships had their hand as well. They did it to themselves by screwing their own customer base, and now a lot of customers are just like, I'm not going to buy. I'm really not going to buy at these prices. Or even if they want to buy, they go to the dealership, they can't get approved. Banks are starting to say, hey, we're not going to approve as much. We're going to need more proof of income, more proof of this. We're not going to approve so much negative equity because people are not making their payments as much, and banks are having to increase their loan loss provision. So things are going on right now. And by the way, the loan loss provision is money that banks put aside just in case people don't make their payments. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the car market from all ends that's affecting it, from the manufacturer to the dealership to the lending. And at the end of the day, most people are payment buyers. Almost everybody in car dealerships, they run on payments. And whenever they sell a car, it's almost 99% of the time on a payment. And they want you to be a payment buyer. That way they can add all the warranties. That way they can add all this stuff. Because honestly, they hate cash buyers. They always make less money because cash buyers normally are very smart purchases. They want to take their time. They want to do their research. They want to negotiate. They want to do all this. And I'm not saying payment buyers aren't like that, but you just have to be careful and don't let them take advantage. These dealers are sitting around all day long training in sales negotiation. They're not training in product knowledge. No, they care less about the vehicle knowledge and features. They're worried about training their sales staff in sales skills to negotiate you, to convince you to get something that you don't necessarily want so you can sign the paper and make a rash decision. But they're getting a taste of their own medicine with all these customers upside down, and the car market really is not doing so good, and every dealership knows about it. General managers are posting stuff saying, yeah, salespeople, it's about to get really hard. Customers are not coming in as much, and dealerships are getting more annoying than ever by calling customers now because that's their plan, is to just start calling people nonstop to try to get you to come in. So who knows what's going to happen at the end of the day, but no one necessarily feels sorry for the dealerships because, hey, I mean, you guys screwed everybody over. Yeah, the manufacturers took advantage as well by increasing the MSRP, but you guys had your hand in the cookie jar. The manufacturers did. Everybody had their hand in the cookie jar. The banks are starting to say no, and the car market's starting to struggle. And I don't care if it's a 41-week low in car prices. It's nowhere near enough. These prices are insane. You walk up to an average, I mean, a Chevy Equinox will be 50 grand. You name it, it doesn't even make sense. And like Chevy used to have the Spark, an affordable $14,000 vehicle. Don't even think about buying a vehicle for that price nowadays. The cheapest vehicle that most manufacturers offer are in the 20s, and even more than that normally. Toyota switching to Tacoma, increasing the price to the moon. Every manufacturer did this. It's not just one of them. It's every single automotive manufacturer pretty much got their hand in the cookie jar and they got in trouble. And now they're losing clientele base, and customers just simply can't keep buying cars at these prices because did everybody get a raise this much to be able to afford a $65,000 Tacoma that is a normal vehicle? It's a Tacoma and it's at every single Toyota dealership across America and it costs $60,000. It's not reality. And I think most people agree with that. I'm really interested to hear what you think about it. Do you think these prices are normal? Do you think a 42-week low in car prices really means anything? Because to me, it just simply is not enough. We need to go so much lower, it's not even funny. We need more dealer discounts. We need more rebates. We need prices to come down. Everything has to come down dramatically because they got increased so much. Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.